Well, good night, everyone. It's in a few, maybe 10 minutes, it'll be a year being online, being on Xavier's journey. While I'm talking, people are listening. I am Xavier's journey. So I would waited for my birthday to kind of come on and talk about something that's hot on my heart. So I wanted to come on and just talk about it because people are talking about tenant issues, how they look for an apartment and find a slumlord. So I wanted to talk on some tenant rights, some things what you do when you're looking for an apartment, and the things that you should do and what you shouldn't do. So I wanted to come on here and just share a little bit of what is on my heart, and hopefully people would be able to um, um, view in what I'm talking about tonight and what to do when you're going through it. Okay. To do whenever you are having apartment issues. Apartment issues. It's important to know because some people don't even understand what they want to do, what they're supposed to do when they're going through a situation. Okay, so basically, it's very important to know what to do. So, I will say to everyone first, it's important to have this booklet, the ABCs of housing. You can get this through 311. You can call for it or you can go on the website. It's New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development, www.nyc.gov. Wait, www.nyc.gov/HPD. Every tenant should have this. It tells you A to B of what to do when you are dealing with issues with the landlord, how to call 311, how to deal with mold. I mean, this should be your. I know everyone has a Bible, and that's very sacred, but this is something that everyone should have as a second Bible. It tells you everything. The version I have is like 2022. It usually comes out every other year, or it comes out sometimes. Um, well, the one that they have online now is not 2023; it's 2022. But I'm telling you, this is a good handbook to know about carbon dioxide, smoke detectors. This is good to know about how to deal with underlying conditions in your apartment. It talks about window guards, gas leaks, legal basement and cellars, violations in your building. Um, what else? How to go to housing court, how to do a HP. If you want to take your landlord to court, this is so important to do, to read this and know your rights. Also, it talks about New York State Housing and Community Renewals, what their department is to help you when you're going through things. Like when you call 311, it's important to call 311 when you're having housing issues. You address it to your landlord, and of course, the landlord doesn't want to address it. So, what you do is you have to do a paper trail, basic a paper trail of um, whatever the issues you're going through. You take pictures, send an email of sending it to your lawyer and attaching it to management and letting them know these are the issues and the conditions that's going on in your apartment. And if they don't address it, then there's steps that you have to take to cover your behind. So basically, again, everyone, when you This book is good for legal aids, referrals, if you're going through harassment, discrimination. The ABC book of housing. This is the ABC book of housing for tenants and landlords, but this is mainly for tenants that are dealing with issues in the system, with a slumlord. I'm going to be talking for the next 2 months about tenant rights, the things that you need to do when you're having a, a situation in your apartment. The landlord is a slumlord. I'm going to talk about all the issues you must do as a tenant. If you're a good tenant and you're paying rent, your job is to call 311. I don't understand why people don't call 311. 311, when you call 311 and you complain on your landlord, or you're complaining that there's no heat and hot water in your apartment, 311 takes your complaint and transfer it to housing. That's housing development. Housing is basically HPD, housing preservation department. When you transfer it to, when you make a complaint, they give you a 311-311. That's your complaint number. They usually send it to your email or to your phone. You send it out, and what you do is you keep complaining. You have a docket book, a book of every time you have sent comments to emails to the landlord about your situation. So tonight I'm going to be talking about tenant rights. What are your rights as a tenant? This has been pressing in my heart for several years, because every time it's like I should have stayed my butt in Harlem. But when I lived in Harlem, I lived there for 19 years, and um, I liked my apartment, but they wasn't upkeeping my apartment. So I moved, got on Housing Connect. That's another issue. Went to Housing Connect, found an apartment in the Bronx. I thought it was very nice, but the walls were thinner than a screen that you put in the window. So anyone, so I stayed there for 8 years. Stayed there for 8 years, and when I say drama after drama, I started the Tenant Association in the Bronx. What I learned at my old building at Riverside Drive, I was on the Tenant Association there. I took what I learned there and took it to the Bronx, and I started the Bronx Tenant Association. And I got a few people that are tuning in that probably will remember and probably tune in and say something what I did for the building. At that time, I was going to all the local tenant meetings, not tenant meetings, community meetings. I would go to, that's where the representative in your area comes to the local meetings, and whoever ran for office, they'll send their representatives. And a lot of times they had the newspaper, the local newspaper for the area, and I would state my issues that are going on in this building. It was 3 buildings. We had one building. They had all, when we all moved there, they had all the cameras in the building, all the cameras. 2 buildings were uh 28, 2985, 2987. 2 buildings, same, like it was built together, but 2 entrances, 2 separate buildings, but we had similar issues. And then down the street, they had another building where they had every camera you don't even need in that building was in there. So anyway, when you go to your local tenant meetings, you have to be a fighter. And so what I'm going to talk about tonight, even when I was talking about this, go online, everyone, and get this. This is www.newyorkcity.gov/HPD. Everyone needs this in your household if you're a tenant. I think they also have things in here if you own a co-op or condo, how you handle it. It's important that everyone has this booklet because it helps you and it educates you and it makes you a fighter how to deal with the landlord, because there's a whole lot of rents going up, but there's a whole lot of slumlords out here that don't want to fix your problem. They will take your money, but they don't want to fix the issues that, when you, like for example, when you sign your lease, My lease was 43 pages. I don't understand what was in that darn lease. Okay. I remember when I lived in Harlem, I had 2 pages. How much the rent was and the regulations of the building. What is in 43 pages? They just talking, just talking away with nothing. And in the lease, when you read the lease tenants, you are supposed to read the lease so you know what is your responsibilities in your apartment, making sure the apartment are taken care of, you cleaning up the apartment and keeping it tidy, making sure you're not putting holes in there and because there are tenants that will mess up someone's apartment and want to leave and go to another one and do the same thing. So it's important to know your rights as a tenant. Read your rights. Read your rights, tenants out there. Read your lease. And it's important that people feel that, oh, I should not be calling 311. I'm scared. No, if you want the work done in your house or your not your house, in an apartment, even if you're living in a house, that landlord has the right to make things make make sure things are being done in the apartment. It's important to upkeep your apartment. You don't want to live in a situation where your apartment is uninhabitable to live in. I wouldn't be paying my rent no more. So tonight, well, before we go any further, my birthday's coming in January 24th. This show made a year last January. Came in for my birthday, and I was smashed. And I just came on Facebook just to say, everyone, thank you for the birthday wishes and the just sending me. Hold on, just sending me birthday blessings. And that's why I came on here to tell everyone thank you for a year. I might not have been on so much this season in January because I've been having a lot of deaths left and right. Every time I turn around, someone dying. And it's like I'm just thankful for God just keeping me. And if you're not being kept, you need to be kept under the Lord. In the Lord, I should say. And so tonight, I really just wanted to come in and bring in my birthday on my show. Something different, never did it before. And I just wanted to talk on some topics. And then I think I'll probably be doing a part 2 of this. What is your rights? What are your rights as a tenant? So one of the ones I would say, I picked out 5 things I'm going to try and um, dissect in here and just talk about it tonight. If you have comments about issues that you're dealing with, hopefully I'll be able to answer them, put it in the comment box, and I'm hoping that I can help you out if you're dealing with stuff. I've been a union delegate at 1199 since the early 90s. Never wanted to be a union delegate, but that's what started me to be in the fight of helping tenants with issues. After I did that for 10 years, I moved to Harlem. They saw when I was coming in the building that I was a union delegate. They said, "Oh, you would do well in this building. You can help us to fight in the community." So that's what I did. A lot of times when I was at Riverside Drive, I got on the board and stayed there for like 3 years on the board to help the tenants. I would go down to. I remember when Letitia James, Jennifer Levy was in the position that Jawan Williams is doing now in Brooklyn, in his position. And Jennifer Levy, we went down there with I went there with 40 tenants from 3 different buildings, and we went there. I didn't know I was going to talk. Everybody was stating our issues, and they asked us who's the ringleader. And for some reason, I opened my mouth and said, "These are the issues that we are dealing with." And someone they would say, "Oh my God, you sound like a pastor when you came with the flock." I said, "No, it's when you're a tenant and you're working hard and you're saving the money to put the money in the to pay your rent every month. You should be living in a habitable environment. No mice, no rats, no bed bugs. I've seen it all through the years. And it's like if I ever run for office, I believe my area would be landlord and tenant issues. There are so much slumlords in New York City and either other states where people are just, the landlord wants your money. They want to raise your money, raise your rent, and they don't want to fix anything. So this is what you do, and I'm going to go to this subject first because it's very important to know, everyone. When you have any kind of problems, from rodents, harassment, um, discrimination from the landlord, they attacking you because you have reached out to 311. Because I see it in my building right now where I'm living. I'm not going to go there, y'all. If I really tell y'all, y'all will not understand what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. I think every building needs to have a tenant association. You know why? When you have a tenant association, that is the mediator between the tenants and the landlord. What I learned at Riverside Drive when I lived there in 100, it was 140th and Riverside Drive. You can see the whole New Jersey. Beautiful. And when you have a tenant association, usually the representatives, the vice president, director, they speak for when we have tenant meetings. The tenants view their points, and we take it to management, and we make sure that the building's always clean, the locks are always fixed, making sure everyone is on the same page. Sometimes the landlord don't want to do things. That's why it's good to have the tenant association to negotiate. Like when you go to the union meeting, you have the union and the delegates negotiating their contract. So basically, that's what's going on when you have a tenant association. But now, if you go to a building, they don't have a tenant association. Someone like me need to come in there and educate the tenants on their rights. It's important. If you're paying rent in New York City or any other state, you have the right to know your rights as a tenant. And the main thing what you need to know as having being a tenant is, when you are a tenant, you need to know your rights as calling 311. 311 is like a thorn in the landlord's, I'm not going to say that, the thorn in someone's ass. I'll put it like that. Sorry. I didn't want to say nothing nasty because I don't curse on my show. But when you call 311 and you have issues, now anything from heat and hot water, lead based paint, window guards, carbon dioxide, and smoke detectors, bed bugs, mold, rent regulations, foreclosure, housing lottery, discrimination, harassment, legal assistance, housing court, and eviction. You can call them for anything. And it's important to know you can lean on someone. And if you're the type of tenant that call 311 and document, then and you don't feel like it's working fast enough for you, you need to go to your local city representative, or you go to the local assemblywoman or assemblyman that's representing in your district. You need to know where you live, the district. What's your district is in your area. Like for me, I'm dealing with a situation here, and I really didn't want to talk about. I moved from the Bronx, lived there 8 years. I felt the Lord was telling me to move to Brooklyn, where I could be, maybe run for office. I'm waiting on the Lord on that one. But anywho, moving forward, I moved into this nice apartment. I love the size of the living room. I mainly stay in my living room, everyone. And the thing that I have issues with is, you come, oh God, what is going on? I came to this apartment in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy. No, I'm in East Flatbush, Brownsville, not too far from my old church up the street. That's another topic. And when I came here, I waited like 7 months to get this apartment. No, I was waiting for another apartment. Something happened with that. They showed me this one. They told me this was renovated. And brother and sister, this apartment was not renovated. I moved in August 4th. See, I'm talking about me now, just to share the takes that I have had to do to see where I'm at. So it would help someone, since I'm trying to be authentic about what's going on. And moved in August. It was hot. I had to get some air conditions for the living room was so hot. And the rest of I have a sit down kitchen. I have a one of those bathrooms that you have a long tub. I haven't seen that in a long time. But being that I'm 6'1", I love to just lay in a tub and just say, "Cal, gonna take me away." so I so it was really nice being in this apartment, and the Lord blessed me with some furniture. I moved, I got rid of some stuff, and anyway, moving along. So as the month came in, I would say when I really got some shockness about my apartment is when it got really cold. October, November, December. This apartment that I thought that was beautiful, I have it's like the windows in my I have 6 windows. I have a fire escape in the kitchen. It's a nice size, bigger than the apartment I had in the Bronx. But the layout is long. When you come, I have a long hallway. I love the long hallway. And it got cold October 1st, I think it was. It was in the 30s. And I was standing by the window, putting up my curtain. I was feeling all this draft coming in from the window. I said, "What the heck is this?" So I went into all the rooms. I was feeling the same thing. So I went on an email, reached out to the management and said, "I'm seeing things happening in my apartment. It's just revealing itself when it got cold." And then send them email, attach the first email. I blind copied my lawyer, so I had him attach the email, let them know what is going on. And I started finding out 10 different things happening in my apartment. I said, "What the hell is going on here?" I'm paying more money than I was paying in the Bronx. Almost $2,000 I'm paying, y'all. Now, I went to Delaware for Thanksgiving, hung out with my girlfriend, shouting out Dr. Nance and her sister Rebecca, and see my brother John out there. Anyway, so I was seeing my family, my extended family. I came back home December. I left like November 30th. By December 3rd, 4 months. Wait, it was 4 months after I left that I've been living here. I go in my bedroom, I see mold, wall to wall mold on the wall. I haven't been able to sleep in my bedroom. And so someone that's living in this kind of situation that has asthma and some other compromised condition should not be living. This is a death sentence for me. Um I called manage Monday. I record my call because that Jewish man lies like flies. I called management. I said, "What's going on? I have mold in my apartment." So the super comes later on and says to me, "Oh, I've been cleaning it with this spray named like a mold spray. That's what they used to spray it, paint over it. So when they know inspection is coming from HPD, they pass the inspection because of that temporary mold." And I just feel I need to just say this. It's going to help someone. It's really going to help someone because I'm a fighter. My parents are pastors. I'm a fighter. I'm a leader. And that's why I speak up for myself, and I'm getting things done. And I believe God's sending me to Brooklyn. This is why I need to do the tenant and landlord issues. I hate, and that's a strong word, hate slum lords, y'all, slum lords. So I Did a paper trail. I took some pictures because I saw it a little bit, and then I just start seeing wall to wall on one avenue of my apartment. It's crime. It's just a whole mess. So I said to the landlord, if y'all don't come fix my apartment, I'm taking y'all to court. Oh, I'm not fixing anything. I said, well, I'm gonna withhold my rent. You want to play me? You don't know me. But what I've noticed about this Jewish guy that's in the building, this building is like Jamaican people, some white people in there, some Spanish, Caucasian people are in here. But what I've noticed, the way he talks to us black people is very disgusting. And I said to him, let me share something with you, brother. You don't come to my house and knocking on this door like you live here. You you're not supposed to come. Okay, another thing is a tenant, when you are calling management to fix your issues, or they're supposed to fix or upgrade or whatever they're supposed to do, they're supposed to give you a 24-hour notice, people. 24-hour notice. That could be a notice on your door, it could be a call, it could be an email. They are supposed to give you 24 hours to come to your door. They shouldn't just show up at your door and say, oh, I want to see what the problem is. No, you are supposed to give me 24 hours. That's the law. Look up in the New York City law as a tenant. Even in that book I gave you, that one will also tell you about the rights of a tenant. So, going on, y'all. So he came here talking to me, trying to talk down on me. I said, if you don't learn to talk to me with respect, I would just tell you to kiss my hand and talk to my. So on some occasions, I've noticed that he would try to talk down to me. So I would record every time they called me. And I said to him, from this day forward, we're not going to have any more communication. You're going to talk to my lawyer because you are disrespectful. One of my neighbor came out and he said, she made a comment. This is why Jewish people get hurt. I said, I'm not saying that because I have Jewish friends too. It's out of respect. I'm living here going on 6 months and I'm dealing with issues. I shouldn't have to be living in a living room that's something they never fixed. So the super comes and says to me, well, I've tried to fix it. He did not break down the wall, or even like how some buildings in the summertime do pointing and they clean the brick. When they clean the brick, then the mold doesn't come inside and get moist. I guess because the heat is so hot, that's why it surfaced. So I called 311. I did a track record. I Every time I do an email, it's the same email. Adding to that email, I'm always replying, or I'm having my lawyer attached to it, and keeping a trail, because when you go to court, you need to print that whole email. It could have been 9 years, or no, I wouldn't say 9 years, a whole 6 months of conversation between management and you. So now where it is now is I have a lawyer. I said to him, I want to take this landlord to court because if I don't sue, if I have my right, I would sue this owner and own the building. That's how serious I am. So I what I did was, okay, my lawyer called me, told me to come fill out some paperwork. I fill out the paperwork. We are in court right now because of lack of services. I speak to some of the tenants in the building. I said, so where's this big tenant association y'all told me y'all have? Because I don't see the building clean. I don't see the locks being fixed. It's like, and one of the ladies across the hall said to me, oh, Xavier, you might need a heater. I said, what do I need a heater for if I'm paying rent? I'm paying for heat and hot water. No, I'm paying for heat and electricity. Anywho, so right now I had every time I called 311, they must have been paying the HPD people not to come to my apartment. So as of last week, I called 311 and made a complaint on HPD. I said, I have a situation, life and death situation in my apartment, and I need someone to come look at the issue. That they want to come in and do the work, but they don't know what's going on in my bedroom, and they need to fix everything in here because I'm at right now. I'm looking for one of those high rise buildings that have all those amenities, and that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm thinking about 64, not 54. Oh yes, it's my birthday. Thank y'all, everyone. It's my birthday. 54 today. All day now, all day. Thank the Lord for another year. But anywho, dealing with slumlords, they should not get any more rent from the government. Some of them, the rent is like so high. Right now, I want to own something. So anyway, let me go back. So right now we're in court because of lack of services, and because I made a complaint against HPD. HPD um, came out and did a test the walls and found out it's black mold. And anyone that knows, black mold is a killer. So in my apartment now, I gotta sleep in the living room with the window open, because I'll be choking. But anyway, I'm covering my grounds, everyone. Yes, I'm coming out and I'm speaking about me tonight because I'm just so fed up. So going back to 311, everyone. So when you call 311, um, need okay. When you call 311, it's about apartment maintenance complaint or tenant harassment. So basically, it says renters and landlords of resident buildings in the city have the right and responsibility to maintain residential property. The Department of Housing Preservation and Development, that's HPD, enforces that New York State multi-dwelling law and the New York City House and Maintenance Code. Okay. Um, you can learn more about residential properties and maintenance requirements, tenants' rights and responsibilities, everyone. You can get more information by reading the ABCs of Housing Guide, available in English, Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, French, Haitian, Creole, all of them, Polish, Russian, all of them. It comes in every language, bro. Okay. And you call and tell them these are the concerns and the issues, or you don't understand how to do it. They can break you down and say, well, I'm going to send your complaint to HPD, and HPD will call me to find out what are these conditions are going through you're going through. And so it's important, brothers and sisters, to and to call 311. Another thing also, when the landlord fails. Okay, it says if a landlord does not make repairs, a tenant may have some or all the following options. One, withhold your rent until repairs are completed. When you do something like that, you have to have a escrow account just in case you go to court and the judge says to you, "Where's the money?" I have an escrow, and then you get points from the judge. Because if you're just holding on it and using it, then you're not getting. You might run into a problem. So it's best to put it in an escrow account, and that will you just every time you get paid, you put your rent in there, so you cover your behind. Because when you go to court, they want to see the documentation that your rent is being withheld. Okay, it says you can break your lease early. Number two, that's what I want to do. That's why I'm looking for one of these high rise. One of my girlfriends, Miss Stephanie Walker, she told me, Xavier, you have to think about 64. I'm 54 now. Think about 64. Look, you need to apply for all these new high rise buildings and live in there. And that's where I'm at. My mindset is ready to be on maybe the 10th floor or the 20th floor. And when you come to my building, hey, Xavier, I'm here to see Xavier. Yeah, be bougie, all you, because I need a gym and a swimming pool if they have that. And, in the summertime, I could be on the rooftop and we have a part. Yeah, we're going to do that for 55, y'all. Anyway, so let's go back here. So it says, one, withhold your rent until repairs are completed. Two, you can break your your lease early because of lack of services. If you take them to court and the judge makes them do the work. So right now where it is with me, HPD, I told HPD right in front of the super, I don't want this super doing the work. Because when anyone that knows that you have done OSHA, I used to be in OSHA at 1199, you are supposed to come in with the full mask, a full white uniform on you, so it does so the molds or the asbestos or whatever they're dealing with is not on your body. You're supposed to cover yourself, and they're all supposed to put that heavy plastic tape. I'm not even supposed to be here when they doing the work. So right now, um, as of then, the HPD told me that they would recommend to management they need to have a professional unit to come here and take care of the situation, and they have to give them ample time to fix it. If they come back and they do the inspection and it's not done right, they get fine after fine, and I can break my lease and leave. And that's what I'm going to tell everyone. So, number 3, make repairs and deduct costs from the rent. So, things that you might, well, honestly, when you pay, let me say this again. Make repairs and deduct the cost from the rent. Some people do that. Um, Number 4, you can sue the landlord in small claims court, y'all. Pay attention. 5, report the landlord to the state or local business inspector. That's what I did. I'm on top of that. Okay. Otherwise, less aggressive options include in making repairs or covering their costs on your own, then deducting the cost of repairs. This is like if you had a contractor, construct, someone that does construction, build houses and stuff. If you hire someone to come in and do the work, you can make sure you have the receipts that you paid for someone to come in and do it, and you deduct it from your rent. Or you can ask HPD, that's in the law enforcement, coding enforcement. You can ask their department, can they send a company here to fix the problem? What they do is usually charge management twice or 3 times more than what they would do. Okay, so deducting the cost of repairs from your rent. This option is available only to limited, extended, and not available in some states. Although some city in those states allow it. You should make sure that you are not using procedures more than often or for more substantial um okay substantial amount of rent that the rent in the rules. So basically, I'm just reading off what I my notes that I wrote down, what's how to help you in crisis. You can also pay rent as usual and then sue the landlord in small claims court for the reduction of property and value caused by the hazard. This approach shield you have This approach shield you have from eviction, but not from the possibility that the landlord will retaliate or terminate your lease. A landlord, a landlord for the difference between the rent. Wait. Hold on. A landlord cannot usually retaliate against a tenant, but sometimes they do. So, say for instance, you're calling 311. You put them in court. They can't make you. They can't harass you or say, "I'm going to terminate your release." And when both the parties sign the lease, their responsibility is, that's why when you read your lease, it says it all in the lease. when things need to be fixed, it's not like I'm saying that you're going in the house and breaking things down, or your children are breaking things down. This is wear and tear while you're here, while you're using the toilet. Maybe the hot water is not strong enough in the kitchen, or it's low in the bathroom. They are supposed to do regular repairs. Okay. It also says a landlord. Okay, I said that apart. The lawsuit will also um, the lawsuit will ask for the difference between the rent that you paid and actually the value of the unit. Um, you must also be able to get compensation for the stress and all that other stuff, for any injuries, property damage caused by her hazard, hazards, oh god, anyway, sorry, hazard, as well as requiring the landlord to fix it. So that's why, and one more thing, finally, you can report the landlord's failure to make repairs to housing inspectors if the hazard violation is a local building code. An inspector can order the landlord to fix it. If they still fail to comply, they can be faced fines and criminal penalties. That's why you take it to HPD. And when you take it to HPD, when you call 311, HPD has to do the investigation. So usually what happens is um, HPD will come out and check it, like what happened to me. They came and checked it. They give them a certain time frame, departing the parting on the part not departing the depending on what the code is. It could be a B or a C or E or whatever. With They have time frames. It has to be done in 2 weeks or maybe a month or whatever. So what's going to happen is 311, no, the HPD will give them, being that I'm in court now, they have to comply to the court. So now, even though HPD is sending them in violation of my place, they have to comply and make sure they have a professional licensed person, because I videotape everyone that come in here. I don't care. You got to cover your behind. I'm old school. Cover your behind, everyone. Anywho, um, and they will do is management will come in here and do whatever they do, even if they don't do the work properly. HPD, I call back HPD, the same lady. She come back to see if they did the work properly. If not, then it will go into an investigation where codes and enforcement gets on board, and then that's where the fines come. They can probably, if we go to court and you have a good judge, the judge might say, stop payment. I'm giving you enough ample time. They have to pay me back money for lost wages of living here, and I move. Or they can force them to fix the problem, move me out into another apartment, and they have to fix it. They're gonna have to move all my stuff out of my house because I'm not moving nothing. Anyway, so everyone, okay, so that is 311. 311, you are supposed to call 311. The other thing is, I did read that part. Getting the landlord to act. If a major repair issue arises, you should contact your landlord about it in writing, to create a record. That's what I was saying earlier. To request and time which you ask for the work to be done. You have the right to ask for immediate action if the problem jeopardizes your health and safety. Verified delivery on request to the landlords important, as it is important as keeping your records and the landlord response or lack of response to the issues. If the landlord makes an agreement about fixing the repair and tries to get it in writing, as that's why I do everything by email, and understand that this sends a document to the landlord asking if they agree. If the landlord fails to respond, the agreement is pursued by law, where I can take him to law. I can take them to court, what like I did. Okay, so y'all, let me see what else. Um, okay, like I said about a landlord coming to your door, this is another one. This is all that I have here. This is what I got from that ABC book that I told y'all about. It says a tenant's rights to privacy. Landlord must typically give at least 24-hour notice and arrive at the responsible time when entering a unit to make repairs. However, no notice or permission may be necessary for an emergency situation. That's what I said. They they can't come knock at your door and say, "Well, I see there's a problem here, or I hear there's a water leak," unless it's a dam, like maybe water coming down from the ceiling. Then you can let them in, depending on how emergency is. But no, you just don't knock on the door. I might have things in here doing. I might be sleeping. I might be watching TV or just relaxing. They supposed to give you 24-hour notice. That's by law. Okay. What else? Okay, let me see, y'all. Okay, tenant rights, understanding. Okay, this is the other thing I was telling you. Understanding your lease and renewal agreements. Most rental agreements are in writing, and while oral agreements are enforced, they are often led to disagreements since a rental agreement is legal and practical documentation. It's critical that it covers the basic terms, states covered, issues central to rental agreements, and must be adhered to the contract. That's why I said it's important that everyone reads your lease. It's important. It's very important to thank you, Alana. Um, it's important to know what you're talking about. It's important to know your lease tenants, and when it's like I only had maybe one or two landlords that were awesome, but lately because of the pandemic, I think even before a pandemic, we always had worse landlords. Like I remember Giuliani, what's his name? Not Giuliani, Jawan Williams. He came out a couple of months ago saying, "Oh, he has the worst." It was a document, 200 were um 200 page slumlords. I need to get that because I remember when I was living in 19 years ago when I was living in Harlem, my landlord, Wavecrest, yes, Wavecrest. Everyone that knows Wavecrest, they the word one of the words. They were number one on the page. Wavecrest. And then, the one that I came from in the Bronx, Mark Stagg, he used to run around and get all these high-rise buildings and build them up quickly, and the walls are thinner than ice. And that's another one. That's what's that one? That was I forgot the name of that one. But if you look up Mark Stagg, that's another one. And so it's important to know your rights as a tenant in New York City because, pay your rent on time. You should be able to not be harassed because you're a good tenant. I've always been a good tenant, but lately I had to be vocal. Sometimes you have to be vocal when you saying, "Listen, I don't like what's going on here. Fix what needs to be fixed." That's what the agreement y'all have when you sign your lease. I made sure I went to Starbucks before I even gave them back the lease. I printed out those 43 pages. Lord, yes, 43 pages. Just 43 pages of just talking nonsense, just nonsense. And of course, a majority of the time, the landlord don't even respect all the stuff that they say in there because they don't do it. They don't even stand by it. And I was reading it and it talked about you can't have this, you can't have that, you can have this, but you can't have that. You can't have washing machine, but even though you don't have a washing machine in the building. So it's important, folks, to know your rights as a tenant. And when you become an owner and be a, maybe buy a condo or co-op, you still need to know your rights as a owner. You understand? And it's important, guys. It's important to know your rights. It's important. I even found out something through 311. You can smoke weed in your apartment now because it's illegal in New York City. They can't come in here, even like the police might say you can't smoke, because the law in New York City say you can smoke. You can smoke in your apartment, but you can't smoke in the hallway or by the elevator or by your neighbors. You can smoke only in your apartment. So that law has changed. They can't evict you because you were smoking. Stop it. Stop it. So now y'all can smoke in your apartment, everyone. Okay. Okay. What else I should talk about? Okay, I did talk about that already. And the things that I don't understand with landlords, they want you to pay $50 for a key, the mailbox key, the key for the outside. When entering the building, that's $50 for that ugly key. My key is $50 for that key, that medical key. And then they gave me two mailbox keys. And I'm like, so now if I lose it, it's going to charge me $50. And when you go to the store, it's not even $50. They need to stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So, calling 311 in this book, like you have kids under 5, they need window guards. You can call 311 and find about that. Carbon monoxide smoke detectors. They're supposed to put that in your apartment. Before you move into the apartment, you are supposed to they are supposed to be putting that in there. But I will tell you, when you're looking for an apartment and you go check out the apartment, make sure, everyone, I always, when I go to an apartment, I check out the kitchen. I love a good kitchen because I need a nice kitchen where I can cook, and I have an island. That's what I need, an island. Yes, I need an island. I love to throw down. Xavier, I'm going to do something soon. Cooking with Xavier. That's a segment. And I always check out the kitchen first. I always check out the bathroom. The bathroom needs to be laid out for a certain way for me. And then I check out all the rooms. The living room, make sure there's enough plugs in the room. Because I've been to an apartment where they have one plug in the bedroom, two plugs in the living room with this big room. So you make sure when you go investigate, bring someone with you. So then while you looking at something, they're looking at something else, and y'all don't really say too much to the real estate person that's showing you. So what you do is check out the apartment, see if it's livable, and that's where you want to live. And make sure you bless your house when you move in, because you don't want no spirits in your house. No. I make sure I bless my house and all my apartments. My next thing is my house coming. So anywho, y'all. This also is good by when you call 311, you can call Pest. The Pest, like pests like rodents. They also explain to you what you should do. Mold. What this is, okay. Legal basements, cellar occupancy, elevators, how the elevators are supposed to be upkeep. Um, and it also sells, okay, this is another thing, and I'm gonna shut it down shortly. HPD complaint process. It says tenants may file a complaint with HPD by calling 311 using, you can call 212-504-4115. That's in New York City. If you're out of state, you have to find out what is your 311 in your state. But I know in New York City, it's 311. It says, 311 online is newyorkcity.gov slash 311. A 24-hour a day, 7 days a week. Complaints are regarding heat and hot water. How Adams is doing it right now. If you're not getting heat, they can get fined for not giving you heat and hot water. After a tenant files a complaint with 311 about housing conditions, 311 will forward the complaint to HPD. A notification call or email made is to register to the owner. The notification made to advise the owner of the problem only. Never close the complaint. Note to owners, if you are not properly registered, you may miss the important notification from HPD. A call may also be made to the tenant to confirm whether the condition has been corrected or not. Okay, in this process, it says HPD always inspect the six security issues: the presence of the operational smoke detectors, the presence of the operation carbon monoxide detectors, legal gates on windows, doors, locks that are require a key exit, window guards if a child is under 11, it resides in the unit, peeling paint if the child is under 6 years old. And then it talks about violations. Violations. If HPD if HPD inspector issues of violations, the time of the owner is given to correct the depends on their severity. You can see all violations on buildings, on violations on the buildings on HPD website, HPD.do online. So it's HPDonline.com. And then it says HPD will mail a notice of violation to the business address of the management agent registered with HPD or owner directly if there's no managing agent. The owner has supplied an email with property registration. HPD will also email information about the violations to the owner. And the Housing Maintenance Code has three classes of code violation: A, B, and C. Here we go, right here. So I'm telling you, everything that I'm saying to you here is all in here. So these are the violations, everyone. Violations. Okay. And I just felt tonight to share this with you because tenants don't know what to do in a crisis. I'm saying that. So violation class has class A, that's hazards. That's 90 days for them to fix it. Class B is hazardous, not 30 days. And class C, lead based paint or window guards, it's 21 days. Class C, heat and hot water violation is immediately. Class C, all others hazards is 24 hours, depending on what the violation is. Like mold, they should be moving 24 hours. You understand? It says emergency repairs. If the owner fails to correct correct C violation, the city may perform or contact an emergency repair to correct violation at the owner's expense. That's what I was saying to y'all earlier. The city is subject to laws of governing and contact wages, where that's where, like, say for instance, they bring a company here to fix the problem. They will contact they will do the work and charge management twice or three times the amount what they paid for to do that apartment. That's why I said once y'all do it and charge them, because they're slumlords. Okay. And it says the expense of prices of to the owner could obtain if he or she performs a contract for the work. Okay. Um, Housing court. Does anyone know how to deal with housing court? Okay, I'm gonna just share a little part of that, and then I'm gonna end this show real soon because I want to go celebrate my 54th birthday. Yes, I was told I'm getting a red velvet cake, and I love different shades of red velvet. Anywho, housing court, HPD Housing Litigation Division, initial cases in housing court seeking the correction of condition and civil penalties where that are inappropriate. HLD seeks correction of heat and hot water violations. File cases seeks and restoration of gas service, and where there may be hazard violation in these cases. HLD generally seeks to comply to the owner, to pay civil penalties to HPD for failing to timely correct the violations. Okay, so this is why it's important to read this book. This book, the ABC book, gives you everything that you might not even know that you really know. It's best to have this book. The ABC book. Where is it? ABCs. For real, y'all. I'm tired of hearing people tell me, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Look this up online. Look this up online. I'll give you the website again. It's www.nyc.gov/HPD. And whoever the mayor is, it would say who the mayor is, the deputy mayor for housing, economic development, the commissioner, and the mayor. This is by law. And so, everyone, I'm just touching out some things that I shared some things about me because sometimes someone wants to hear your authentic side that your experience, the same thing that someone's going on. That's why I said I'm going to start showing some tenant issues. The next thing I might do a part 2 of tenant issue and bring someone on, and I can interview them on what is the issues, what people should be doing and what they should not be doing. You should not be sitting in your house and you got water damage in your house. That's telling me you being lazy. You don't want to live in that kind of mess. You have rights as a tenant, and we all have rights as a tenant. And we need to get off our lazy butts and call 311 if you're having issues in your apartment. It's important to know, for real. I'm going to come on, I think, next week and talk about slum lords and good landlords. It's very hard to find good landlords these days. And I want to talk about the issues of slumlords, the issues you deal with when you have a slumlord that don't want to fix it. There are ways you can sue them. You can take them to court and sue them, break your lease, and go somewhere else where you can live happy. Okay? All right. So, what else before we go? Okay. New York State Homes and Community Renewals. That's another. Oh, this is so important, everyone. Say, for instance, you've been living in your apartment. Maybe you're the fifth tenant that live in this apartment. Housing Community Renewals helps to break down whoever was in that apartment first, from the first tenant all the way to the last tenant. You could have been in the last tenant. Like for me, this apartment has been vacant since, no, this apartment has been here since 1995. And it tells you how much the person paid rent. It might have been $60. No, it was 100 and something. And then as years have passed, the rent went up. When you go to house and community renewals, they give you the history. They're not going to ask you for, when you call them, they're not going to ask you for your name. They just want the address, the apartment number, and the zip code, and they're going to mail you the history of the apartment. And so, in addition to calling HPD to report colon violations, Tenants in regulated apartments who have problems with their building conditions may contact HCR and file complaints. After obtaining of evidence from your owner and tenants, HCR can issue a written order that lowers the rent because of lack of services. And that phone number is 718-739-6400. And if you want to go online, you can go up RENTINFO at nyshcr.org. That's rentinfo at nyshcr.org. Okay. And the phone number again is 718-739-6400. When you call them, all they need is your address, your apartment number, the zip code, and they're going to mail it to you. And you're going to get the full breakdown of who lived in there before you. And I will say I used this when I was in the Bronx because I had 25 tenants that I went around to them and I had these the tenants sign all the issues that were going on in the apartment. And this really helped me because we were in a brand new building that had been there for 2 years, and we had issues. We had issues in that place. I've seen every rodent, and I thank God for my cats because I came home from work one night and I saw a mouse in my apartment, but my cats were playing soccer with the mouse. And the next minute, my neighbor next day said, "Your cats must have had a field day with this mouse because it died by his bathroom." He lived next door, and it. Oh God, this I will tell you, house and community renewals helps. I used to throw tenant meetings. I used to throw tenant meetings, and sometime I would bring the newspaper. I would have the community leaders come to my meeting. I brought a lawyer to one of my first meetings when I lived in the Bronx, and I had the deputy director. I'm not saying his name. The deputy director. He works out in Queens, and he came and he said to me, "Xavier, have all your tenants fill this out and mail it back to me." And what he did in my behalf, because I had a lawyer prior that talked about all the issues that we were dealing with. What housing community renewal did for us, those 25 people, anything that was going on in the lackness of the building, like the cleanliness of the building, um, anything like the doors being broke, like the overall of the outskirts of the building, if it's not being taken care of, they will deduct that and make every tenant that I had, 25 tenants that I had, their rent was frozen. Like, say for instance, the tenant moved out. That apartment cannot raise the rent on those 25 people until they correct the problems in the building. So that helps housing community renewals. It helps. That's why it's important to read. Reading is fundamental, people. All jokes aside, I'm dead serious. You need to understand your rights as a tenant. It's important to know these things. And so what it does, it lowers your rent, or even puts the apartment be frozen, because if I moved out, they can, like, say that I'm paying 17 and change now. They cannot raise the rent to 20 or 19 until they correct every problem in this apartment. So basically you have two papers. One will say, when I gave the tenants those papers, it asks you what's going on in your apartment: bedroom, kitchen, living room, bathroom. And then it asks you on the other flip side, how's the hallway? Like the hallway when you get off the elevator, how is it clean? It's not clean. It asks you about the basement where the washing machine is in the basement. If it's not clean, basically that's the outskirts of the building. So when you say no, and everyone says that, they will put a fine. Their department puts a fine on the lien of the building that they can't do any renovations. They can't, no, they can't raise rents until those issues are being taken, that are up. Okay, they put, I don't know what is wrong with me today. I think I'm just so excited because it's so juicy to tell people what their rights are and what departments out there that can help. So basically, he wrote me a letter because I was the president, and whatever he wrote me, he sent out to all the 25 tenants and let them know their apartment was frozen or on hold because of lack of services in the building. Your building should always be clean every day, swept and mopped every day or every other day, depending on um, the super and his people that he worked with. Some people don't have that. Okay, so um there's another department that you should also know about is the Alternative Enforcement Program. That's the AEP, is an enhancement enforcement program, HPD, identifying distresses for multi-dwelling criteria in the law. The special attention including in position of fees, insurance, of order of correction, and authority to replace billing systems. Well, I don't even think we even need that one. It's just good to have this one. Division of Special Enforcements. That's what they call it. What else? Before I shut down, because I'm just trying to. It talks about harassment in here. Harassment by the landlord or owner to force tenant out of their apartment or surrender their rights as is illegal. So examples: not offering leases, renewals, repeat by trying to pay you out to move out your home or give you the rights, a buyout, offering you a buyout while threatening you, intimidating you, or using obscene language. That's what mine tried to talk to. And I said to him, I will not tell y'all what I said because I'm a Christian. Okay. By contacting you at your place, employment, obtaining your written permission while providing false information in connection to a buyout offer. It's so much. It tells you so much what you do for harassment. Um, what's the other one? Okay, I did that one again. It also have, if you're in the arrears, family, family individuals, your rent is in arrears. You can reach out to HRA if there's programs that help you. HRA, city FEPS. Okay, even like seniors. I hear a lot of things about seniors these days being evicted. Seniors who have reached a notice eviction or written notice from their landlord can be evicted, get evicted prevention, assistance, and legal referrals. The city also provides eviction assistance for persons over 60 years old who are mentally or physically impaired. You can call 311 and they will help you with that. Um, okay, rental arrears. Okay, if you have rent arrears, they have that in there also. Rent increases, regulations. I will talk about that the next show. But when I was talking to you about harassments, this is the other side. This is E, discrimination. Under the law, under local, state, or federal law, property owners and their representatives be the employees of the ownership, the real estate broker firm, management firm, or agent, etc., may not deny housing or prospective tenants on basic of race, color, religion, creed, nationality, gender, including sexual harassment, gender identity, age, partner status, disability, citizenship status, legal occupancy, law, law for lawful source of income. It's so much in here. I'm telling y'all guys. What else? Um, and it also it talks about here too. Tenant association. There's some agencies you can reach out to that maybe it's a grasshopper agency that helps you set up the tenant associations in your building. It really works. People, it's like some people don't believe in having, like when you work at a union, a hospital, and you have a union. Some people don't like the union, but the union helps to fight you if you don't get, like if you work at some agencies and you are home attendant and you don't have union, they can just fire you and you can't fight for your job. I like having unions. That's just me. Let me see. I'm gonna do one more thing and then I'm gonna close the show and and enjoy the rest of my birthday. Amen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. And I thank everyone for even um tuning in. Oh, this is good too, Will. It's I'm telling you, it's so juicy when you can read this booklet to find out what is going on. You understand? And it gives you all the resources you can find out. Um, so, okay. HPD, House and Education. They have heat and hot water requirements, molds, other health home issues, bed bug infestation, detection and management, lead based paint management, increase in safety in your apartment or house, how how that how HPD slash HDC housing lotteries work to um, locate new construction available affordable housing, housing code violation removal process, first time home ownership. So you can check that out at like I said, www.nyc.gov/HPD. And I'm telling you, everyone, having the book, ABC book, this is a healthy resources to help anyone that you're dealing with your tenant rights. Because I think that everyone in New York City should have this New York City Department of Housing Preservation Development, ABC housing issues. Anything you need to know, it encourages you what to do. You understand? And what I like about the glossary, it says first conditions, heat, hot water, carbon locks, base, mold, paint, gas leaks, all that. The second one is complaints, violation, enforcement. The third is harassment. Fourth is tenant resources and other housing issues, and also educational things. And so, everyone, while everyone is talking, I am Xavier's Journey. That's, I just love that I can come on tonight and share a little thing on my heart that everyone could be edified. Like the church would say, we need to be edified. You understand? Reading is fundamental, and I don't understand why tenants don't stay on top of their living. It's important to be healthy in your apartment. It's important um, um, to be at peace. And I just wanted to come on tonight to share what's on my heart, tenant rights, and what to do in these circumstances. Everyone, thank you for the birthday wishes and the salutations. Thank you. While I'm talking, people are listening. I am Xavier's Journey, and have a blessed and wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to comment, share, and leave your thoughts of what you think I talked about. If it helps you, please just comment. Please leave some good comments, not argumentative comments, because it's a platform. We don't sit on here and judge people. I speak from a place um of a open heart to help people, and that's my job, is to help those that need help. Okay, and I just feel that it was a good topic that I talked about tonight. I hope that someone could be edified now and be encouraged in the fight of dealing with your issues. And it's important to know, as a tenant, what are your rights. Everyone has rights. The same way how landlord has rights, you have rights as a tenant. You need to be respected. You need to be respected and loved. And everyone, I'm just thanking everyone that has tuned in, because today my birthday makes a year, and tomorrow makes a year being on YouTube. And I thank everyone that have supported me and given me encouragement. I'm trying to get topics that are that will encourage the listener. And this is so rampant in New York City. If you turn on the news, people are having issue with landlords. So you need to know, tenants, what your rights are and what to do. All right? God bless again. While I'm talking, I am Xavier's Journey. Keep on tuning in and hear what's my next topic. Good night.